Can you talk to me a little bit about project landscape and where you perceive that to be heading?
From where we see it, where I see it, it's things like, a huge drive towards more customer-centric experiences. There's a massive demand for value to be delivered earlier. So the days of very long projects may be numbered to some extent. So those are a couple of really key things that I think are coming out in the way the market's going and the way companies are behaving with change and what they want to see come out.
And what about the talent that you see going into those projects, like project managers and business analysts? How do you see their skill set being relevant?
The thing for me is how you do it and the approach you take to it. Those are the things that are going to change, and that's the challenge for a lot of project managers in particular, is how they adapt to that change and how they start to do things differently to meet those changing drivers that I mentioned earlier.
What about their toolbox that they bring along? Do you see that as being as relevant in the last couple of years as what you see now?
I think there's a massive movement in our whole IT industry towards, agile with a small a. The whole DevOps movement is gaining huge momentum globally and in New Zealand as well. So when you talk about the toolkit that the project manager's got to bring to work every day, I think they have to have a real awareness of what those things are. They need to know more about Scrum and Kanban and the lean methods. They certainly have to get a little bit more fluent in all things DevOps. So they need to know what continuous deployment is, what continuous delivery is. How do you get test automation to make those things come true? How does auto deployment work? Those are the things that will speed things up. Those are the things that remove constraints. And again, it's how you apply those techniques with your first principles that'll mean you can have a more customer-centric experience delivered a whole lot faster that will realise value a whole lot quicker and probably keep a few stakeholders happy along the way.
Talk to me a little bit about anybody who is entering this space, what sort of attitude they could bring, what type of skill set they could acquire, and how to become a good project manager.
One of the key things about being a good project manager is communication. This might sound a bit weird, but project managers don't actually do any work. They get other people to do it for them. So being able to relate to people well and communicate what you want, how you want it, when you want it, in a nice way that they're going to do it for you is probably pretty key. So I think communication's a great place to start. You can certainly use, the professional bodies, which is again a thing I'm a big fan of. So whether that's, doing a Scrum Master's course through one of the professional bodies for that, or doing, some traditional project management PMI type courses, because again, those and Prince will give you the first principle stuff. Because if you haven't got the first principle stuff nailed, then you're going to struggle with anything else really. You're not going to know the first principles and how you adapt those to doing things differently.